นะเช็ค
ได้
ใหม่
ได้ได้
โอเคไหมถูกต้อง
ไม่กูถูกหรือยังถูกอะ
ถูกแล้วมาโอเคหนึ่งสองสาม
Okay.
Hi I'm Timo
And I'm Ploy.
and we are International
International
Pause.
pause.
We're here to talk about international student lives in the US.
And we're here to share the real talk.
So let's grab your coffee and let's get into it. This is International Pause. Hi, Ploy, how are you doing?
Doing good. How about you, Timo?
I'm doing good. You know why we're doing good? It's because we went to see therapists.
Woohoo! Yep, totally. So, you guys, if you have listened to our podcast since the first episode and stuff, you know how our life. So, like, we've been through a lot of tough time, a lot of stressful time during our time in the US, or like not like in generals, actually. So,
Mhm.
yep, we have a secret. You go to see a therapist because everybody needs it, and yeah, we need some help for sure.
Yeah, and honestly, even if you're not as stressful as we are, you may be able to see them too, and maybe you might unlock something you never knew before, like you never knew you'd
Yes.
need before. So
So,
yeah.
yeah, totally. Actually, the reason why we want to bring up this topic because we both have been through therapy sessions and we feel like it's really useful and somehow changes the way we think about both ourselves and others. So, we want to make it more like, in make it more less taboo in a way, basically like
Hmm.
especially from the culture that we're from. So, let's
Yeah.
get into it.
All right. Today we're gonna talk about how, what, where, when, why, and what it's like the experience of actually getting into therapy. All right. Let me start a little bit of background. So we're both from Thailand, and Thailand has a big taboo of like, I'm not sure if it's still big, but like at my time, I think it was like being viewed as like sick or like
Yeah.
something not good in a way. They thought they associate therapists with like some people insane, some people who are
Yeah.
like clinically insane. So yeah,
Mhm.
it has like a really bad reputation. I've
Yeah.
never been to therapy in Thailand, but since I come to the US, this is my first time doing it. What about you,
Mhm.
Ply?
Yeah, totally. I'm definitely on the same page. So when I was in Thailand, like seeing a therapist seems like a very it's something that very far away from me in a way that like someone have to be really sick or like it reaches a certain stage that like okay they have to see a therapist. That's what my perceptions of therapists back in the day. And yes, same as Timo, I did not see any therapist when I was in Thailand, and then I started to see a therapist when I'm already in the US. And but anyways, my therapists are all Thais. So but yeah, I did it when I see a new like perspective about therapists, and then I go to see therapists when I'm already
I
here.
see.
Mm-hmm.
My therapist is English speaking, so they're like
Yep.
US people. Actually, I'm
Sure.
not sure if they're US, but yeah, they speak English to
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah.
So yeah, when
Okay.
do you start seeing a therapist? Actually, let's roll it back further. How
Yeah.
do you know like about therapists in the US? How do you know about
Yeah.
therapists?
So let's say it like this. So I when I came to the US, like all the medias, all the like video reels, online, internet, your friends, your like everyone talking about seeing a therapist. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like you go to eat. It's like a very common things.
Yeah.
I watched one video on like Instagram something like that, and then it was like a show where an MC go to interview people on the street, and
Mm.
then that girl, she was like, "Oh, I cannot talk right now. I'm talking to my therapist." Like their talk is
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Oh, yeah," it's like, "Oh, I'm talking to my friend." Like it just sounds very common and very chill. Which is I feel like, wait, in Thailand, you can't really say that. You have to like, you can't really tell anyone that you see a therapist because you might
Mm-hmm.
be seen as someone who's insane, crazy, psycho. I guess like that's what my perception, which is obviously wrong. But yeah, that was the first time I kind of like exposed myself into the ideas of, ooh, seeing therapists might not be as far away as I expected.
Oh, actually, we have a really similar like stories.
Really?
I would say like some of the shows showed me to it. It was the with Nick Nelson and the LGBTQ
Oh,
Heartstopper, I think. It's
okay.
Heartstopper, yeah. And they have like a scene about going to therapist and everything. And
Mm,
even as insane, like crazy, wacky cartoon like Rick and Morty, they have a character who is literally a therapist. And I'm like,
true.
yeah, they're actually brought up more than you think in the society. And for me, what really triggered is that my roommate in my first semester, they were talking about going to therapist, and like today, like my therapist talked to me about this. So they basically told their friends about like what the therapist told them, and I think it was like, I really like, and I asked him like, what kind of things you talk to your therapist?
Yeah, uh-huh.
And they were like, just life in general, just breakup, or even like stress or anything. And I was like, at first, I didn't have that idea of you have to be, it can be something so small to like talk to therapists. At first, I thought it has to be like coping with death or like
Yeah.
doing something like very important, very heartbreaking or something like that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Actually, like while we're talking, there's another example that popped into my mind is that there is one show on Netflix
Huh?
called Never Have I Ever.
Uh
And
huh.
then I think the main character, she's gone through like a very heartbreaking like situations. I'm not gonna spoil it, but yeah, go see it. So she had gone through a hard time, and then throughout the whole season, both season actually there are two seasons I believe. The main characters always see her therapist the whole
Mm-hmm.
season, and I feel like
Wow.
yeah, it's kind of disguised. Is these things that make you feel like oh, actually, is it's very accessible and it's pretty common like normal things people do. It's like you talking to your friends or someone that you would like to share things, yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. So, when exactly do you decide to see a therapist? Like, after
Oh,
you're seeing all of this, what triggers you to actually
yeah.
make you see a therapist?
Yeah, I think this is the problem that make people kind of hesitant to like when like some people might think like what stage that you feel like okay I have to see now I have to see a therapist because for
Mm-hmm.
sure every day people have stress, people have I don't know, people have stress, people have anxieties. It comes from time to time and go. But when you feel like, okay, now I need some help and I have to see a therapist. So for me, in my case, there was a time that I was looking for a job actually, or actually not really looking for a job. It was a time that I lost my job,
Yeah.
and then it was a time that it was the very first time in my life that I got laid off. It was, and also I had a big fight with my mom, which is usually me and my
Mm-hmm.
mom, we're super close, like really, really close. I can talk everything with her. I talk to her probably more than once, like I talk to her very often, and she's very chill. And at some point, I think she started to feel some insecure, maybe something shame for her, maybe something shame for me. And we have a big fight, like really, really big in a way that I feel anxiety, like really big anxiety that I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to, I blocked her. Like I blocked her phone because when I see she calling, I'm scared to pick up the phone. Like I freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I cannot
Oh.
talk. And when she called, when I talk to her, I feel like I cannot think. And I feel like, no, this is kind of start to disrupt my daily life. So that
Mm-hmm.
is what I feel like, okay, I might have to see a therapist now because now from one problem it becomes more problems because like it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of start to affecting like a domino. It start affecting my work life, my relationship, my like it start affect many things. So that
Mm-hmm.
is when I decided to go to see a therapist. How about you, Timo? How when do you know, oh, like what makes you feel like okay now I need a therapist?
So I actually see a therapist on and off few times. My very very first time is actually like in my first semesters because I broke up with my boyfriend in Thailand, and I was like that was really big. I was being dramatic and everything. I mean, sure, I have friend here in the dorm and everything, but like even people, my roommate recommended me to like just go to therapy, and then you'll find something new. And
Yeah.
I went, and I was like, oh my god, this is like something really, really new. So at that time, I mean, of course, I was exposed to a lot of new things my first semester, and then I was broke up with my boyfriend. It was such a heavy thing, and I feel
Mm,
like that's appropriate for me to go, and I don't regret going. The second time is also like when I have another boyfriend in the U.S. and we have a fight, and
yeah.
then at first, I was gonna just talk about like our fight in a boyfriend, but then you know what? The therapist, they like see right through it and like really like peel my skin off, peel my
Yeah.
thought off, and like, oh my god, this like there is so much more in that. And I mean, the third time also the relationship, and the last time that I went, the most recent one I think it was when I had a interview. I had an
Mm,
interview with Microsoft, and it was like really really stressful. And
yeah.
spoiler, I didn't get a Microsoft, so that's why I'm here.
I see. Yeah,
But yeah.
actually, yes. Actually, I have a pretty similar experience with you because the very first time that I decided to go see a therapist it was an online sessions, and
Hmm.
my therapist Thai. Basically, it's just an online. I give her a call and then we talk. And in the beginning, I thought I was talking about my relationship, like about
Hmm.
the relationship between me and my boyfriend. However, like it's like what Timo said. The therapist have the method to like kind of like kind of unleashing whatever happening, like kind of untangled. Like you have one like big giant knot that you created, and then they start to like kind of untie everything, and then now they said actually the very big problem for you is the fight between you and your mom, and then it start
Hmm.
affecting other things. So and that is when you know that, oh, actually, my relationship with my boyfriend is not bad at all. But it's just
Hmm.
because I feel insecure and feel like inside, like anxious about whatever happened between me and my mom. So it's kind of start affecting other things. And then yeah, it's like so when I know that, now I feel like okay, like I'm not as like alone as I
Hmm.
thought I was before. I thought like, oh, like I have found my mom, and now I feel bad with my boyfriend, and like, oh, I feel like kind of alone. What should I do? But actually when they start saying that, like, oh, actually it's your mom thing, so now I know that like who's like what which problem should I focus on and really
Hmm.
like make it work. Yeah, so
Hmm.
that is like after I see after my first sessions, I feel like wow, this really changed the way I think about like therapists, like really. And I feel like it's really good. And I remember after me and my mom got back, like okay, start talking more after that therapist sessions, i I told her about therapist sessions,
Uh-huh.
which is I say in a way that like wow, it's really good, it's really
Uh-huh.
accessible, it's like it's made me think in a better way, whatever. It was good in the beginning, but I'll keep it for the later time. I'll keep
Okay.
it what happened
Okay.
next.
Okay, okay. Well, actually, you said that you talked to a therapist in Thai, right?
In
What
Thai.
platform? What platform do you
Yeah.
find them?
So if you're Thai, you would definitely have heard of this platform. It's a pretty famous. It's called Ooka. It's like OOCA. So it's like a platform. It's like an app where you can like basically choose. Like there were a lot of therapists and psychologists within there,
Mm-hmm.
and also they have like some. I'm not sure. Like they have some real like doctor who really can prescribe you some medicines. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which is really really like accessible. And I'm glad that Thailand have something like this where you
Wow.
know it make it a lot easier to like access to like this kind of service, which is I believe that especially in I want to say that especially in Thailand, the countries that we really value like really value seniorities and like
Yeah.
cultures and people in Thailand. I think everything the society kind of like framed you in a certain way, and if you
Mm-hmm.
think differently, you kind of like an odd things like black sheep or whatever. So
Yeah.
sometimes people get pressures a lot. I think I've heard like I'm not sure exactly where, but they said like Thai people we are really tight with the culture a lot more than we
Mm-hmm.
expected. So like
Yeah.
we are pressured since we were really young that we kind of like
Mm-hmm.
forget how stressful we are. But yeah. So I'm glad that we have something like this.
Okay, well, check it out. Oka. Actually, that
Okay.
sounds a lot like BetterHelp in the US.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, for me, I have been to the school ones, and when I graduated, I used BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a platform for very similar to Ploy's up service. So they match you with like licensed therapists, and it's all online. And also, like if you have insurance, you can also use it with the BetterHelp as well. So yeah, you can like
Mm.
talk to different like expertise, very niche in the field. They have like the problem that you can take, and like they're gonna match you with whoever that find you fitting you. And if not fitting, you can also change your therapist at any time. I'm sound like
Ooh.
I'm sponsoring BetterHelp, but that's just how it works.
But it's good, right? Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
we're sharing today.
Anyway, let's go back to my school therapy.
Mm.
So similar to Ploy, I went there because of my relationship in the first place. But then again, like they peel it out and they were like, "Oh, well, the grief that you're feeling maybe is has something to do with some other thing." Honestly, it's been a while, but only one key takeaway from what I have is that back in IIT, which is Illinois Institute of Technology, the therapists over there is so scientifical. Like
Ooh.
they really talk like they're talking to engineer. At first, I was like, I feel like this, and I don't know how to feel like this, and I was like, sometimes I was just sitting around, I was like crying and like everything. I feel
Yeah.
like my heart is a hole in it, and she was
Yeah.
like, um for a human behavior, it is normal for people who have relationship for like a year or 2 years to go back to them like when it first happened. And it was like when they're not them anymore, it feels like a big hole. So it's like very natural like human body response. She's framed it in a way that's like it's like physical health, and I'm like, oh my god,
Ooh. I
yeah,
like that. It sounds
she is
really like okay, like
scientifical to me.
yeah, very scientific. Like you feel like when you hear it, you feel like okay, it's like this is normal. You really feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
this is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
normal. This is
Hmm.
like like flesh and meat.
Yeah, 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 something like that. It made me feel like I don't know, like muscle and brain and like not something that you can't touch it. And I
Yeah.
like really like it.
Yeah, actually, I think that's the main thing that I take away from like a therapist sessions is that sometimes your mind, your brain, and your body
Uh-huh.
it's just a flesh and meat. Like
Yeah.
everything that control them is you like your emotions and your like thoughts. Like
Hmm.
without thought and emotion, your body is just a body. Like really.
Yeah.
And I feel like you know what? Sometimes your body is reason how to call like is really rational more than
Yeah,
you
yeah.
expected. If you think
Hmm.
about it, everything have an original like origins of problems that it
Hmm.
this caused this and it forced you into this like like bodies react like this is because of this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, actually before you feel like, oh, why I feel so sad all the time, why I feel like this, that because of this. But actually when they're kind of unleashing that, you kind of see that oh actually your body is just a body and if you stop like if you can control your mind your body is just a body and you keep going with your life.
Yeah. And like the other key takeaway is that like because your body is your body, if you don't take care of your body, then your mind is not gonna be like taken care of as well. Like
True.
some people think that like maybe avoiding or like not being sad is the good thing to do,
Mm,
but that's
mm,
not always
mm,
the case. And
mm.
also people were like obsessed with I don't know emotion, thought, and everything to the point that they forget your body is also physical. Like you need to exercise, you need to sweat, you need to like
True.
maybe stop looking at the screen or maybe like stand up to actually activate your brain. And like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, actually that's very true. I feel like you said your body is like a physical piece of meat. And
Hmm.
if you don't take care of it well, it will affect your mind. Some people
Hmm.
might think like, oh, your mind's like this, or it's affecting other things. But actually, just the fact that you don't work out, you don't go out to get the sun, you don't sleep well,
Hmm.
Everything that is very simple in life can affect your
Yeah,
thought and your it make you depressed, bro. Not gonna
yeah.
lie.
There is one thing like that I just learned about as well. In the US, they have winter, right? And they're like talking about winter blues,
Yes,
winter
yes,
like
yes.
depression. Like when it's winter, it gets dark early, like 5 p.m. It's already pitch black, blue at night, and sometimes like people get depressed more because they have less sunlight, and it was
Yeah.
like really, really
It's legit.
like
It's legit.
yeah
And like
environment.
yeah, and like you imagine it's cold outside, you don't really want to go out. You're just
Mm-hmm.
stuck in your room and your body did not get a sunlight. You
Mm-hmm.
just did not get to see your friends, did not get to go out. It was just cold. It's everything. It just affect your body and then it's cause your mind to like being depressed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true. Give it a
Yep.
try, guys.
Yeah, give it a
Yeah,
try.
let's talk about how much. Um, how much did you pay for therapy when you had it with Uka?
Well, I remember there are many like price range you can choose
Mm-hmm.
from like very affordable to like very expensive one. So
What's the
I remember
difference?
I remember I think it depends on the experience of that psychologist. So
Ah,
it's
mhm.
not really like better health. Like better health you matching with with the like the therapist, right? But
Yeah.
in Uga, you can choose whoever you want. But yeah, for sure they have like kind of filter that like
Mm-hmm.
okay, this one they're like expertise this part they're doing this, but you can choose what whoever you like and also whoever fall into your budget. And with them I remember the first one I met, the range was like it was like 250 per 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly to be honest, but I think
Bath
I
or
bath, yeah,
bath.
not the
Okay,
US dollar. So I think in total I pay around like in US dollars around like 40, which
that's
is
so cheap.
yeah,
Actually,
$40.
yeah.
It's cheap. I think it was around 1 hour or something. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while, but yeah, it's definitely cheaper than the US.
Ah, gotcha.
How about
So
you?
for me, actually, if you're a student, you can get therapy for free, really free, and you don't have to get the hassle of talking to insurance or like hospitals. Like the therapists from school, they're offered to
Oh,
anyone actually. Like
mm.
even if you're insured with the school insurance or not, as long as you're a student here, you have an .edu email, you're eligible to get the therapy. And what you need to do is just you have to call the Student Health and Wellness Center and say
Mm-hmm.
like, I'd like to schedule a therapy. And they're not gonna talk about why. They're just gonna talk when and like when can we schedule, blah blah blah. All the details. It's so easy. Like
Wow.
it's so easy that if you don't do it, maybe you're wasting your money.
Oh, totally.
But yeah.
I feel like this is something really good about the US actually because okay, when I was in Pennsylvania, I was in like a school for it was a small school in Pennsylvania and I remember that they have like like therapist that she's in on campus, like work on
Oh.
campus. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can just go find her and then they have like I don't remember how to call that room, but it was a room full of
Confession
like
room.
yeah, like not really confession. It's like a room full of pillows and those like how to call
Oh.
that like fidget that you can play
Uh-huh.
with and you can stay quiet
Oh.
in the room if you want. You can go there anytime that you like. I don't remember how to
Oh,
call that room, but
like a
yeah, that's
sensory
nice.
room?
Pretty
Sensory
much,
room?
yeah, like a sensory room. Like it's like dark and quiet, and then you have like some a little light, and then they have like those fidgets you can play with, something like that.
Speaking of which, like I I have to tell you about this. I have been to a therapy I've been to therapy office in person and we talk like in person in
Yeah.
IIT, yeah. And I think it was such a I don't know, first of all, I felt like I was in a movie because the room looks just like in the movie.
Ooh,
The
okay. How does it look
sofa.
like?
Okay, so actually the wall looked like mine so much. Like it was
Okay.
cream beige and there is no like top light. It's like low light, it's so chill, it's so
Oh,
comfy.
okay.
The sofa is very, very comfy for some reason. The pillow is nice and like there are trees. It's actually like comfy and lively and feel like open, like very, very safe. And there is also like a white noise in the hallway so that you can
Oh, I like.
so that you can be sure no one's hearing your rant, no one's hearing your like whatever you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
wow, that is so cool.
That's nice. Actually, thinking about it, when I went, even though it wasn't my sessions, I remember when I was in Pennsylvania, I went to
Hmm.
a therapy session with my friend because okay, something there
Hmm.
was some things going on, and then my friend felt insecure to go to see a therapist on campus by herself, so I was in there with her, and then
Huh.
I get to see how the therapist like helped her out. Like for example, if you feel like you hurting yourself, they have like a certain way to like kind of how to call like shift your mind to not do it. For example, some people like want to hurt themselves. Do you know what like the solution, like the alternative way to do that? They ask you
Hmm.
to use like a rubber band on your wrist, and then
Instead of
like
like,
yeah, instead of doing whatever, like you put your rubber band on your wrist, and then you can like how to call that, like you pull and release, and then your body will feel hurt a little bit, but it's not gonna be like
serious
dangerous.
damage.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so that kind of shifting your brain that okay, it hurts, but it's not like because sometimes you when you go through like a hard time, your brain want to like hurt some part
Hurt.
of your body so you don't feel as hurt on in your heart or something like that.
Uh,
And that's kind of fascinate me, like oh,
oh,
like that's
it's
how your body works, something like that.
pretty fascinating.
Right. And then they
Um,
gave her like a coloring book that she can do.
oh,
Like, okay,
okay.
on that day you colored. If you feel like you're overthinking, you color. Something like that. And I'm like,
Hmm.
that's pretty good. And actually that's something that I'm still doing today, coloring.
Oh,
When I
oh,
feel
okay.
bad. Yeah, I'm still doing. Because I feel like when you color, you don't need to think much. You just and
Hmm.
it's just so soothing
Be
for some
present.
reason. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just so soothing for some reason. It's really good. Actually, you should try it.
Yeah, okay, I'll try it. I really
Yeah.
love like art and everything, so maybe coloring
Yeah,
is really
right.
good. For me, they recommended me to like journaling and also like
Mm.
go running. Like pretty
Ooh,
much
okay.
anything that makes you be present will generally is like a really good way to help you relieve stress and also be present. Be present is all the keyword in here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, yeah, actually, you got the same recommendation, like solution from me as well. When I see my therapist, they also said that like they asked me to journal, like write a journal and then do like affirmations and gratitude journal. And then they said if I'm stressful, I can just write like a brain dump. You know, when you
Mm-hmm.
write whatever like you think, and then you like you rip that page out and scrunch it and throw it away. Like
Oh,
don't see it
oh,
again.
oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they said do not read it. Do not read it.
Okay.
They said because it's something that is supposed to go away. Like
Be
you be
dumb.
present at that moment. And they said do not write quick. Write slowly and think about it. And she said she
Oh.
asked me to go walk outside, but she said do not just walk. She said
Uh-huh.
walk with purpose. Like why you here? Like walk out. Like okay, why I'm outside? Because I want to see like the city. I want to ease my mind. Like she said don't just walk but do like be present as well. And I'm like
Wow.
yeah, so because I like walking in general, but I feel like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I always walking like what she said, like I just go for a walk, like just walk.
Mm.
Don't even think anything. But she said trying to think something while you're walking so you feel more like present.
That's really cool. I have one more thing that I can just recall. The other advice was like, listen to like gratitude. Be gratitude and be like thankful. And like there is a time that I literally listened to YouTube, like morning gratitude for 10 minutes.
Same.
And I was like, actually that period of life I was so shiny. I was like really happy, really thankful and everything. And it really
Yeah,
shines. Like what I'm saying is like actually before and after you see a therapist and before you practice and after you practice those recommendations, you're really a different person. You're such a
really
different
really.
person. Can you give us an example on your side before and after you went to therapy? Like a biggest change?
Yeah, for sure. So actually, I see pretty clearly as like, you know what? I think these days, if you see someone who like probably have a hard time come talk to you, you can tell whether this person have seen a therapist or not. Because
Mm-hmm.
people who have seen a therapist, you can tell that they would be more aware and their mind is a better like I would say that they know what they're doing. They know how to be present like more than someone who is like very like probably never seen a therapist. You can see that they might like kind of stuck in their mind, like they're kind of like buried into their like emotions in a way that they cannot be like cannot escape in a way. They don't
Mm-hmm.
know how
Very
to
true.
escape. Yeah. So let's say for in my case, before I see a therapist, I feel like, oh, I'm stressful. If and I just think in a very simple way that I thought it works. Like for example, I think, okay, if I'm stressful, I'm gonna watch funny movie or
Oh
funny
yeah.
show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not stressed. Or I'm gonna see some show that I like for example, I like BL, like Boy Love. Like you know, Boy Love is
Yeah.
very like
Oh my gosh.
oh like
Yeah, everything
really
is so
hard, like so melting
heartwarming.
love, heartwarming. So I'm gonna watch that. But you know what? You
Rain.
reach the yeah, like something
Yeah.
like that. And I feel like
Yeah.
okay, that's what I thought I would do. Like okay, if I feel sad, I'm gonna do this. But you know what? When I reach some certain point that it doesn't work anymore because I feel like if you're not present enough, you cannot enjoy them as
Mm-hmm.
much as you're supposed to be. So yeah, that's what me before therapy. But me after therapies, now I know that sometimes okay. Oh, also actually I missed one thing. In the past, I thought if I'm stressful, I would talk to my friend, call my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I want to talk about this. But you know what? When you reach some certain age, your friend is not always available for you. Not
Yeah.
always available. People have job to do. They have relationship. They have family. Then
Yeah.
they don't have time for you. And I have heard one podcast saying that like we all need to know how to cope our stress because
Mm-hmm.
you are the one who stay with yourself 24/7. Your friend might
True.
stay with you for 1 hour, 2 hour
Mm-hmm.
max, or three, four. I don't know. You might have someone with you, but you is the one who stay with you 24/7. So you yourself have to know how to take care of yourself. So yeah, and that was me before that. Okay, if I have something, call my friend. But what if I don't have my friend? What I'm gonna do? So now, after therapy, now I know that if I'm stressed, I'm gonna write. Writing doesn't work. I go out for a walk. If go out for a walk still make me stressful, I might color because I feel like color is kind of like my last resort in a way that okay,
Right.
I have to be present. But
Okay.
also, one more thing that I realized with myself is that I feel like I'm more aware about how my like before I feel like I have anxiety and I feel like anxiety was part of me. But now I
Mm-hmm.
feel like anxiety is one part of me, but not all the parts how to say like it's just separated from me. It's not
Mm-hmm.
what it's not it wasn't me. Before I might thought that anxiety was me, like entirely. But now I feel like okay, anxiety was just part of me and now I know how to separate it from what actually happening and I know how to like kind of control that anxiety. I guess for sure someday like the anxiety might grow a bit bigger than other days, but I know at least I know that okay it might grow a little bit and then at some point it would just shrink down like before if you can control your mind.
And that's
How?
the plot of Inside Out too. Pretty
Yeah,
much, yeah.
yeah, pretty much actually.
Wow. Okay, that was really good.
Yep.
For
How about
me,
you? Mm-hmm.
I would say before I see therapy, most of the time when I'm sad, I'm always about like keep it to myself, and I was
Mm.
always like not really showing sadness to anyone. And
Mm.
I'm like such a lively person, everything all the
Yeah,
time.
very.
Some people also take me for like I've never been like sad in my life, but that's not true. And also sometimes I also cope with drinking alcohol, and I'm such a big
Mm.
drinker, but that's
Mm.
not a good thing. That's not
That's
a good
not.
thing. So one of the like I went to them to see therapy about relationship and love, and I mentioned like this alcohol thing, and then they were like, maybe that's the other thing that actually like making you spiraling down. And I was like, oh my god, I never realized how much alcohol I'm consuming. Like back
You.
then,
Mm.
I mean, first of all, I'm drinking wine almost every single weekend with Jay, with friends.
Yep, I
But
remember.
then,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, now that I was like being more conscious about my consumption, not only about alcohol, but like everything actually, like processed food, sugar, or everything. And I'm not trying to be like overly healthy kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like be conscious, and in moderation, it's good enough. You don't have to be like super healthy, go vegan,
Yeah.
or like cut meat out of your life. If meat is
Mm.
something that you like, go eat it. If meat is something that like you don't like, then you don't have to eat it. There's your
Right.
choice that work differently for everyone. And also, moreover, once I see therapists, I've actually learned how to talk about my problems more with other people. Like I was able to talk with my boyfriend, my
Mm.
friend, my mom, like whoever. Like I was able to open more about what I'm feeling and like process it at and in the real time. And I think that's
Yeah.
a really, really important skills for you to
Very
have.
important. I feel like that's, I also think like that's very important. Once you know how to process like your problem, now you know who is like what is the actual problem that you have, and you know how to communicate it to others. I think on the other way, you also can notice if someone have that as well, and you have more like empathy for them, that
Yeah.
oh, maybe
Hmm.
they have this because they think in this way, or maybe they need
Yeah.
help. Like
They've
I
been
think
through this.
before, when I have a fight with my mom, I feel like I don't say that I'm completely right or she's completely wrong. Like I think we're
Hmm.
both wrong in a different ways. And I feel like after seeing therapists, I understand her more. That she also have her own problems that she has, and she have to work on it. And I also have the part that should work on it as well. And now I know how to. Okay, for sure, I'm not gonna lie that now the relationship between me and my mom is not exactly the same as before,
Hmm.
but now I know how to handle it in the way that we're both comfortable. Like I'm comfortable and she also comfortable as well. So yeah, I'm gonna say that without a therapist, I wouldn't reach this point between me and my mom, and I think it's a very big step how to do it.
Yeah. You all should give it a try, really.
Yeah,
It helps a
really.
lot.
I always recommend everyone that like you should go see a therapist, even though you feel like you don't need it now. You might feel like I don't need it that much, but I feel like it's something that you should try at least once because it would change your life. Actually,
Hmm.
yeah, it
Yeah.
will change your life. You see some. It's like if you imagine, it's just like you're talking to your friend, but this friend is a very professional friend
Hmm.
who know how to navigate your thoughts, and
Who
also
literally
they would
study.
really, yeah, this is their job. They got paid to do this thing. So like imagine they're just one of your friend, or even you know what, sometimes they are one of, maybe they're just strangers that know nothing about you and they have no judgment whether
Hmm.
whatever topic you're going to talk to them, that you feel like you cannot talk about this thing with some of your friend or your family. Here's a therapist for you.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that's really thoughtful. That's really inclusive. Let's touch a
Very.
little bit about alternative options.
Mm.
Apart from therapy, there's also AA. Have you ever heard of that? Alcohol
No.
associate support groups. So pretty
Oh.
much like, and actually ever like heard it recently when I moved to New York. There's pretty much this thing called like AA, DA, which like abbreviation for like alcohol association, drug association, or maybe like some other abusive items, I guess, like weed or anything, where there are a lot of people like going there anonymous. Oh, not association. AA come from Alcohol Anonymous. So you go in
Oh.
there without revealing your name, your job. Like
Yeah.
you really don't have to like say who you are, but you're here in the same problem of like you're an alcohol addict and like it's taking over your life.
Yeah.
So we're all like there for support groups, and mostly they're free, as at least in New York. That's one of the alternatives if you don't want to talk in one on one. You can also hear other stories from other people as well. I personally have never been there, but I've seen people who have been there and they have been very successful. So yeah, one of the options there, support groups would be what I recommend. Do you have anything,
Right.
Ploy? Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, as you bring up about like, alcohols or any substance that they use to kind of
Mm-hmm.
cope with stress, which is that actually is the reason that people talk, like, main reason that people said why they get into alcohol, into like
Mm-hmm.
smoking. Like, for example, like my dad, he had been smoking, I don't know, since I was
Oh
born,
yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
for really really long time. I didn't even know when did he start. And my mom, she's she had been dating my dad for not too long before I was born, around like a year or so. And she said she never asked my dad to stop smoking. But my mom, she have a bad allergy. Like, her allergy
Oh.
is even worse than mine. But she never get, like, she said every time when she's trying to bring up about this thing, my dad always feel like annoyed. Like, always like, like, shows like
Mm-hmm.
annoyed part. And she just stopped saying until now. They have been married for this year. I'm 26. My mom just starts saying about him, asking him to quit smoking today, like now, which is
26 year
been
later.
25 years in. And my dad just say that, like, because he's stressed, which is, it could be the stress situation, which is around like 20 years ago, but it's lasted
Mm-hmm.
today. And this
Mm-hmm.
is why it's addicted. So I feel like, yeah, it's sometimes people tend to realize that these things is all associated to each other. Like, they think
Mm-hmm.
that they need this because they're stressed, but actually, you see a therapist, there might be a lot of ways that you can notice that, oh, actually, you smoke because of this. If you can get rid of these
Mm-hmm.
problems, maybe you don't need to smoke. You don't need to smoke, or something like, or even alcohol. I mean, I got it. Like, we know during the time that we were looking
Yeah.
for a job, we would go out drinking a lot. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, and I know it feels good temporarily. It's not a sustainable solution. Yeah, you will feel good for like an hour or something, and then you feel horrible the day after because you feel like, oh my god,
Mm.
I have a hangover. You feel like, what the heck did I do? And yeah, it will be like a loop like this for I don't know how long. Like, my dad case is 25 years in.
My God.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So, like, or other substance as well. So yeah, I'm glad to hear that now is more accessible, and also like is anonymous, so people get
Mm-hmm.
more comfortable to get into that, because I know that there is a lot of people who is an alcoholic, and they said some of their family members don't even know. Most of the alcoholic, like,
Yeah. They
people,
don't
their family
realize.
members doesn't know. But I have read one, like, crime, like, true crime story, and they said there was one woman. She always, like, she's an like alcoholic, and she put vodka in her coffee every morning, and no one
My
knows
God.
that she have vodka. Like, and she addicted, and then at some point, yeah, it's just family members never find out.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that's
That's
how
really
it
cool.
is.
Mm.
Okay,
Find
yeah,
support
from my
groups.
end, I just saying that, like, seeing a therapist is not something scary, or it doesn't mean that you're crazy. It just, and it actually, it doesn't even mean that you need help in a way. It just felt like seeing a therapist is like, seeing your friend and kind of trying to understand yourself better. Let's think it
Mm-hmm.
that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you start to worry about something, that you start to be like anxious, start to feel stressed, feel sad, depressed, whatever you feel, just see a therapist. They know how to navigate this thing for you. Once, even though they might don't help you to stop feeling sad or stop feeling anxious, but they might can help you, like, understand yourself better. That, like, okay,
Yeah.
this is what's going on, and we can go step by step.
That's very true. For me, I would
Mm-hmm.
say that therapy is an ongoing process, actually.
Totally.
Like, you see, we're talking about like life changing so much after you see therapy, but it's because of like we go to therapy consistently and we also practice the therapy advice
Right.
consistently. I've seen like also other people who has been to therapy for like year but hasn't been better. But
Yeah.
I mean, I have no right to say. But from what I'm observing, it's pretty much like they're still doing the same thing over and over again. Seeing
Mm.
someone like therapist, seeing a doctor will not guarantee you a different outcome. if you don't
Mm.
change the thing that you're doing in
Yeah,
your life.
totally.
So
Totally.
when it's come to change, it's an ongoing process and it takes time, really.
It
Like
takes
it's not a
time.
quick fix, but because it's a fix, it's gonna be better one day
Yeah.
or gonna change one day.
Yeah. I can promise it's a sustainable solution for your minds and your like how you
Hmm.
can think in the futures. I feel like because this is something that I'm gonna that it's gonna live with you for like I don't know for the rest of your life. Like your
Hmm.
mind is someone that I think you would talk to your mind more than talk to your friend or family. So like
Of course, yes.
this is one yeah this is one of your friends. So like if your friend feels sad or whatever, just go find a therapist. You have to live with that for a really long time. So like if you have a
Mhm.
healthy mind, it's not only affect you and but also affects your friend and family, so like your surrounding as well.
Yeah, that's very true. Ploy,
Okay.
I like you to say the final takeaway message that we write together.
Sure. I would take the honor. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say this. So like before we get going, I'm gonna leave one message. Your mental health is just as important as your GPA and your OBT applications or even
Yeah.
STEM application, green card
Yes.
applications, whatever
Oh my God.
application you
Yes.
do, job application, I don't know. You are not alone in feeling this way, and there are people here who want to help. You're welcome here, and you mean that is every sense of the word. So that's why we have international calls because we
Yeah.
know that you need someone to say it for you.
Yeah. It's as important as your OBT, guys.
Yeah, it is important. And whatever application you're doing, your job application, your work application, your I don't know what other application, your bank statement, I don't know.
All right. I honestly have nothing else to add. I'm speechless after that. So
Yeah.
yeah. Again, thank you for listening to International Pulse. Please leave a like, a comment, share to your friends, share to someone who needs a therapy, share to someone who doesn't need a therapy because maybe they have
They
other
already have a
people
good
who need
mind.
it. But yeah, again, I'm Timo,
And employ
and we are International
international
Pulse.
pause. Okay. Internet.